السلام عليكم. النهاردة هتكلم على الداتا فريمز. ف هنبدأ بالداتا فريمز. المرة اللي فاتت اتكلمنا عن السيريز، فدلوقتي هنتكلم عن الداتا فريمز. Creating a data frame from Python objects. أول حاجة عملنا هنا mp.random.seed، عملنا seed سميناها 101 أو حطيناها في 101، وعملت بعمل دلوقتي my data equal to mp.random.randint. عايزين الرينج بتاعنا أرقام ما بين الصفر للمية، تمام، لكن كاتبين 101 عشان يعني تكون يقف عند المية بالظبط، وعايزينها في ماتريكس 4/3، 4 في 3. أول ما طبعنا my data ادانا random numbers اللي هما 95 11 81 لغاية ما مللنا الماتريكس، تمام. عندنا my index، سميناهم my index، سمينا CA NY AZ TX قصدي، دول يعني أسامي بلاد أو قارات في أمريكا، تمام، دول لو تحبوا تسموها، لكن abbreviated يعني أول حرفين من الاسم، تمام. وعندنا my columns my columns مسمينهم January February March. دلوقتي عملنا DF اللي هي اختصار لداتا فريم، مسمين الجدول بتاعنا الداتا فريم بتاعتنا داتا فريم اللي هي DF، ودي ميثود بنكتبها لازم pd.dataframe، مدينها الداتا بتاعتنا، تمام، my data اللي هي دي، هو ال 951181 اللي هما جبناهم ب mp.random randint. فبس أول ما بنطلب نطبع الداتا فريم بتاعنا، فبيدينا هنا الاندكس ده داتا فريم. الداتا فريم متكون من كذا داتا سيريز، تمام، فكذا داتا سيريز أول ما يتجمعوا مع بعض بيسموا داتا فريم. فبس هنا عندنا الاندكس 0 1 2 3 هنا على الشمال، وهنا من فوق ده الكولومز، ده اسامي الكولومز حاليا. فدلوقتي هنا هنكتب df equal pd.dataframe. الداتا عندنا my data اللي هم اللي فاتت، والاندكس اللي هم اسامي الدول او المدن، انا اسف، المدن. فدلوقتي عندنا الاندكس اتحول من 0 1 2 3 ل CA نيويورك، AZ و TX اللي هي تكساس. هنا فنقدر ندي بس الجدول داتا بس، او الداتا فريم نقدر نديله داتا بس او داتا والاندكس، ونقدر كمان ندي داتا واندكس وكولومز. دلوقتي في كولومز، الكولومز عملناها equal my columns اللي هم دول، فهيكون الكولومز بأسامي الشهور اللي هم دول جانوري فبراير ومارش. فده الشكل الأخير للداتا فريم، ده شكل داتا فريم اللي هو الطبيعي. عندنا فانكشن اسمها أو method يعني df.info. الانفو ده بيجيب لك information للحاجات اللي موجودة داتا الفريم جوه الداتا فريم بتاعك. فهنا بيديك الاندكس فيه 4 entries من CA ل TX، بيديك كام كولوم عندنا، بيدينا الكولوم وبيدينا null count، تمام، وبيدينا الداتا تايب. فبس دلوقتي دلوقتي ازاي نقدر نقرا CSV file for a data frame. Note we will go over all kinds of data inputs and outputs زي ال HTML, CSS, Excel sheet, etc. There is other stuff later in the course. For now we just need to read a simple CSV file. So what is a CSV file? CSV file is a comma separated values files or text values files that use commas as field delimiters unless you are running the virtual environment included with the course. We don't need this. So these are some stuff we need to download with pip install عشان يعني we can do some of the stuff required. We also need to understand the file paths، تمام. You have two options when reading a file with pandas. If you .py file or .ipynp notebook is located in the exact folder location at the CSV file you want to read, simply pass the name, the string. For example, we can do this df equal pd.read csv some file csv.com. This is, for example, not .com, sorry, .csv. This is the name of our file وده اللي احنا عايزين نقراه، فبنكتبها كده وبيقراه لو هو في نفس الفولدر. أو there's another way إن هو we pass the entire file path if you are located in a different directory. لو هو مثلا الفايل موجود في حتة غير اللي انت شغال فيها، تمام، ف the file path must be 100% correct in order for this to work. For example، بنروح بدل ما نحط اسم الفايل على طول بنروح حاطين المكان اللي فيه الفايل وبيتقرا بنقراه. فبس for example ازاي بنعرف الحاجات دي؟ print your current directory file path with pdw. نقدر نستخدم pwd وبتطبع لنا ال current directory file path بتاعنا. ففي الحالة بتاعتي، تمام، ده مش هيطلع مشابه عند كل الناس عشان كل واحد عنده فايل دايركتوري مختلف وحطه في فولدرات مختلفة. فأنا عندي في السي، بعد كده users، بعد كده ميدو A، بعد كده ون درايف، بعد كده desktop python projects explain folder. فده مثال مثلا. أو عندنا list the files in your current directory. المكان اللي احنا فيه بنكتب الاس، بعد كده بنعمل لها run بتورينا كل الفايلات اللي عندي. that's another way. Here for example we read our CSV file. Our file name is called copy of tips.csv. I was able to just write the name because it's in the same folder. تمام, it's here. Yes, so that's how I was able to just call it with the name. So if we type df, it will give us the information. تمام. So what is a comma separated what is a CSV file? Comma separated value spreadsheet is, if we open this is the file that we're reading right now. This is how it's normally displayed، لكن ده بيلخبط، مش هنقدر نفهم منه او نتعامل معاه هو بالطريقة دي. فايه بنعمل؟ بنروح قاريينه بالفانكشن دي في df، مسمينا الداتا فريم بتاعنا df equal pd.read csv. احنا لازم نحدد اللي احنا بنقرا csv فايل ونكتب الاسم .csv. فاول ما نادينا على الداتا فريم بتاعنا جاب لنا ايه؟ الفولدر اللي انا كنت فاتحه من شويه، عنده columns اهو، وعندنا indexes. هنا عندنا information about the data frame. We have 244 rows and 11 columns. Why does it say 244 and here it shows us 243 as the last? عشان we start from 0, so they count 0 as 1. And obviously we have 11 columns. That's excluding the index column. It's not counted. So here total bill is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8, 9, 10, 11. So yes, this is some information about data frame اللي احنا قريناها. we don't really need to go through this. Data frames, obtaining basic information about our data frame. So we have a method that's called .columns. .columns gives you the names of every column that is in your data frame. So we have total bill, sex, smoker, day, time, size, price per person, per name, CC number, payment ID, and they give us the data type, which is an object. As we can see, what is written down there is correct because we can see it here. We can also ask for the index. So for example, when I type .index, it gives us the start and the stop and how many steps. But we have here a function called .head. So usually it's written like this, df.head, تمام. It gives us the first 5 values. تمام. the first 5 rows آسف in our data frame. So here are they. Okay. But for example, what if we just don't want only 5? We want, for example, we only want 3, for example. We want even more. So we type the number we want here inside the bracket, and it gives us the information. The tail does the same thing, but from down. Yani the head gives you the first 5. Tail gives you the last 5. Unless you give it 3, for example, it gives you the last 3. df.information, it gives you some information about your data. Yes, it gives you if there's non-values, data type. As you can see, the information are here, memory usage, all of that stuff. For example, if we get a question, how can you tell how many rows you have in the data frame? We can usually, يعني obviously we can do this df.info, and it gives us data entries, but it gives us also a lot of useless information that we don't really need. So we can simply just put it inside of len, which is length, and it will give us the length 244. We have a method called df.describe. .describe, what it does is anything that has numbers, it will do some mathematical equations. For example, we have the count, it gives us the mean, it gives us standard deviation, minimum, and max, and percentages for everything that has a number. So yes, this is what describe does. But if we add the transpose, what it does is it flips. So here our index became the name of the math equation that it has done. But if we add transpose to the line, what it does is it gets our column names and flips it or switches it with the math equations. So it makes the name of the math equations as the column names, and the column names becomes the index, as you can see here. This is more viewable for you. Selecting and indexing. So obviously you can index and select a column that you need. So let's learn how to retrieve information from a data frame. Columns. We will begin learning how to extract information based on the columns. So here, as you can see, df.set, we got the first 5 rows in our table with their full information. And for example, let's say I wanna grab total bill. So for example, for me to grab it, this is also for grabbing a single column right now. So we type df or the name of our data frame. This could be named anything else, and we open list brackets, and in quotation we put the name of the small column that we need, and it gives us the information. That's how you get it. We can also ask for the type, and it because we only grabbed one column, it will obviously tell us that is a series, because a data frame is is composed of many data series. But if we only grab one, it will obviously give us that it's a data series and not a data frame, because you're only grabbing one thing. But if we grab multiple, we can. This is how we grab multiple. Note how it's a Python list of a column names. This is the double bracket. So, so if we want to grab total bill and tip, we open double brackets, and then as we did, we get the name. We put it inside quotation, and for the other one we put a comma between them and call the column name, and that's how you grab both of them. For example, we want to create a new column. We do this in the data frame That's the name of the data, our data frame, and then we name it the new column that we want, which is tip percentage, which wasn't here in our data before. As you can see, it was never there. And what we do is we give it a value, and the value, how we get the value is here we told it tip percentage is equal to 100 multiply the tip multiply the columns tip here. So for example here 1.01, we will first multiply it by 1, we will get an answer, and then we told it to divide it by the total bill. That's how we get a tip percentage. That's a way of creating the new column. DF price per person equals to we're now creating a new column. We named it price per person, and for us, like, the value that we are requesting is total bill divided by size. The size which means how many people were there or present at the table or dining in this case, yeah. Here we're calling help function on mp.round. We want to understand what round does because we're gonna use it, and it gives us round an array to the given number of decimals. Yes, so it also takes the number or the column that you want to round and how many decimal points you need. Adjust existing columns. Pandas is because Pandas is based on NumPy, we get awesome capabilities with NumPy's universal functions. So here our column price per person equals to mp.round. We're rounding that column. Price per person, where is it? Here, and we're rounding it. And the 2 here is how many decimal points we want. As we can see here, 49, it's 8.49 for the first one, etc., etc. We can also remove columns. It's by doing this. df.drop. We have a method called .drop. We name the column that we want to drop, and we need to say axis equal 1 because it's a column. If it was a row, we put axis equal to 0. So here we're dropping the tip percentage, and we're telling Pandas that it's on axis 1, and as we can see here, tip percentage is not there anymore. Index basics. Before going over the same retrieval task for rows, let's build some basic understanding for Pandas data frame index. We can change the name of our index. Instead of that being the default from 0 till whatever the number is, we can say that as we can see here in our example, till 244. We can there's a method called setIndex. So in this case we're setting our index to become payment ID. So one of the columns is called payment ID, which is this, and we're doing this, we're able to do this because payment IDs are unique, so there is no repetition in it. So when we put set underscore index payment ID, it becomes the index. And as you can see, the number of columns decreased and number of rows is still the same. df.head. Yes, in this case it's not permanent عشان we did not save it. This is only temporary. We can make it temporary if we like by doing, for example, this df equal, so not like this, by doing this. زي we can do this. خلاص in place equal true. and now يا رب ليه مش شغال payment perhaps we forgot the comma. None of payment ID are in the columns. This is happening ليه والله I'm not sure. لحظة والله I'm not sure. خلينا نكمل. يا ساتر. تمام. yes we can here we made اسمه عملنا ال index payment ID. بعد كده as we can see here I was correct. df equal to df dot set underscore index is correct. تمام. so there was a problem with VS Code. it wasn't my fault. فبس هنا سيبنا خلينا الاندكس payment ID. لكن افرض احنا مش عايزين البيمنت اي دي يكون الاندكس، فبنقدر نعمل بكل بساطة دي اف equal df dot reset underscore index، فبيرجع لنا الاندكس للنورمال نيومريك فاليوز. لكن البيمنت اي دي ما بيرجعش مكانه، كان الاول somewhere around here، لكن when you reset the index بيكون اول column عندك. ف this is not really an issue، لكن I was just pointing it out. rows, how can we index rows? Let's now explore these same concepts but with rows. هنا we call the data frame the first 5. we made our index as payment ID and we call the first 5. تمام. how for example if I wanna grab a single row، تمام، this is if it's integer based. This is how we do it integer based, is by typing df dot location. so this is when it's numeric values. you can say if you only wanna call it with the number or the index number, you use I location and bracket 0. but if you're gonna call it with the name, because our index is named, so we use the f dot location. In this case we're calling sun 2959. it gave us all of its information and the data, or the entire row. how can we, for example, grab multiple rows? Here we're using I location, so that's how we were able to use 0 to 4. so it gave us the four rows. Grabbing multiple rows with location with named index is a bit harder, because we can't simply use this indexing type. we need to write the name, comma, the name, etc, etc. so we can we can do it, and it will take a long time. we can remove rows. Typically our data sets with large enough that won't remove rows like this, since we won't know their location. ما علينا. df.head, df.drop. so we're dropping a specific row. so we're dropping sun 2959 axis 0 because we're بنتعامل مع rows. فبس. so if you remember, sun 2959 was like the first row, but after we dropped it, it got removed. And yes, that's how we drop it. Error if you have a named index. We can't. Let's see. Error if you have a named index. We obviously can't tell Pandas to drop to drop row 0 uh, and we're having it named. This is not possible. It will give us an error, as you can see here. It says 0 not found in access. So pay attention. Insert a new row. We do this. One row equal to df dot I location 0. Type one row. ما علينا. Pretty rare to add a single row like this. Usually use pd.concat to add many rows at once. You could use the dot append method with a list of a pd. So مش عارف ايه. We continue. So we're just appending the one row into our data, but from the bottom. Yes, we can see here, and this is data frames for you.